All right, folks, good morning.
All right, folks, good morning. All right, folks, good morning.
One second here. There we go. No, those I'm just reviewing what happened yesterday. All right, so let's get started here. Firstly, for today, we have the following economic news coming out. We have Empire State Manufacturing Index, which already came out, better than expected. Import prices month over month came in better than expected. Industrial production month over month will come out at 9:15 a.m. Eastern, as will capacity utilization rate. Then at 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll have preliminary U of M consumer sentiment and preliminary U of M inflation expectations. So we do have a good amount of data coming out today. So we can expect the market to have significant changes in direction as we go through the day. So at 9:15 before market open, that'll be one thing. And then after market open at 10 o'clock Eastern, that will be the last round of news for this Friday. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what was moving yesterday. First off, in the pre-market today, we have the QQQ moving down, which is basically what should happen. If there's good news, the market should come down. Good economic news. If there's bad news, it should go up. Basically, the market for some time, quite a bit of time, has been moving opposite to the news based upon the actions of the Fed. So basically, ever since the Federal Reserve became more involved in trying to mitigate issues, there tends to be a reaction by the market. So if the market thinks the Fed's going to raise interest rates, then it tends to go down. And any good news basically means that the Fed has more incentive to do so based on the economic data. So that's all that's going on. Anyway, so overall, the market was up yesterday. It wasn't extremely bullish, it just was up from where it opened to where it closed. So let's take a look at what was moving yesterday. And the purpose of looking at past movers from yesterday is just that we can see what opportunities were there. So hopefully we can get better at recognizing them next time. So let's take a look at what was moving yesterday. So first up, we have Rivian, which was able to reach target number one of 23.83, and then it got about halfway to target number two. We had Apple, which was also a rougher move up, but it did get to target number one of 175.51. Okay. Next up, we had Plug Power, which was able to reach target number one of 8.64, $8.64, topping out at 8.80 a share. Then we had Moderna mRNA, which was able to reach target number two of 112.20 per share. It first went down, but it was after that when we saw it on its move to T1 and then its subsequent pullback and resumption right here that actually made for a perfect setup. After it hit T1, it pulled back and then resumed. So that was our only real chance of getting in. That did top out at 114.33, well above its T2. Next up, we have Coinbase. Coinbase was able to reach target number one of target number one of 83.58 per share before topping out at 84.10. Not the best move up. Okay, again, this is pretty rough, so it would be unlikely that this would have been a great opportunity for anyone, but possibly you may have been able to pull it off. Next up is Paramount Global. That was much smoother. It was able to get to target number one of 13.84 per share, but not able to get beyond that. A much better move was T-Mobile. The first part of the move was pretty rough, but after that it got into a trend similar to Moderna. It reached T1, pulled back, and then resumed. So that was able to get us up to target number 2 of 143.94, topping out slightly above that. Oops. Next up, we have Amazon. Oops. Amazon was bearish, actually. It was able to get down to target number 1 to the downside of 143.75. It then got about 2/3 of the way to target number 2 to the downside, but never reached it. It fully reversed back to T1 and then back to the opening price of the day. Airbnb was similarly bearish. It was able to reach target number 1 to the downside of 142.83, and then it went about halfway to target number 2 to the downside after hitting target number 1, and then turned around and went back up. Riot Blockchain was able to reach target number 1 to the upside of 1102, but then after that it fell pretty quickly and then came back to it again, but not able to get past T1. Next up we have AMD, which was able to reach target number 1 to the downside of 106.81 before bottoming out. At first it was going up, but it turned around quickly and started to go down. And lastly, we've got Netflix, which made a sharp dive to target number 1 to the downside, but never was able to substantially go beyond that. Target number 1 to the downside was 402.84. All right, folks, so that wraps up what we need to talk about for yesterday's stocks. Let's take a look at today's activity. So far, I only see 3 stocks on my list. That doesn't mean that's all of the list. That's everything out there, but let's go over these first. So AXLA, everything would have been fine except it's trading under $1 per share now, which automatically disqualifies it from our watch list. So we'll leave this one alone. Maybe it will come back up later, but it does not qualify for the pre-market list since it is trading below $1 per share. All right. One second here. Let me open my list. Okay. So I won't put that on the possibilities list. It probably will not be back above $1, but I guess if it does, we'll find out later. Okay, next up we have IOVA, it looks like. Okay, that's up 18.73%, 2.3 million shares, over $1 per share. It is a NASDAQ stock, so that does qualify for the pre-market radar. So we'll add that to our pre-market radar list. Now, remember that the pre-market radar is not designed, I repeat, is not designed for options trading. It's just for stocks. We're just looking to see if there are any stocks pre-market that are very active. So we want to make sure we keep an eye on those because sometimes those stocks end up making very dramatic moves up, and we don't want to miss those if we don't have to. So usually they're just going to be something we look at the open and see if they do anything good. But if they do, we definitely want to know about them because a lot of times those can result in some very large gains. No point of ignoring it if it's there. All right, we have Nikola, which is currently up about 14%. 21 million shares have traded pre-market. That's a lot. And so above $1 per share. So we definitely want to keep an eye on Nikola. It did have a really good day yesterday, starting from under $1 per share and moving up to about $1.20. So we do want to keep an eye on this one as it goes up in price, the opportunities will start to become more desirable. So we don't know if Nikola is going to move enough today. It usually doesn't move in a very large range anymore, but if the price can keep appreciating, then eventually it'll be making large enough moves for us to take advantage of. So let's take a look at some of the stocks you guys are mentioning. So CGC was just mentioned. It's up 18%, 6 million shares traded, and it's above $1 per share. So definitely that meets all of our criteria. So we want to add that to our list. And what we're looking for, folks, are any NASDAQ listed stocks and only NASDAQ listed stocks that are trading above $1 per share, at least 1 million shares of pre-market volume, and at least a 6% change in price. That could be a positive or a negative price change, either way. So if you guys see any stocks that meet those criteria, let me know in the chat and we'll go ahead and take a look. By the way, AXLA will have a reverse split on 16, 17, Tuesday. It'll be on Tuesday. So what a reverse split means is that the stock price is going to be adjusted in order to keep the company's share price above the requirement by the NASDAQ. They say here they're going to be doing a 25 for 1 reverse split, meaning that for every 25 shares you have, you'll get 1 in exchange. Of course, the price will be adjusted accordingly. So that should move the price of this stock up to around $20 a share, $18 a share, somewhere in that neighborhood, once to do that split. So that won't affect anything now, but if you, on Tuesday you suddenly see the prices way up, just remember that's why. All right, so I see CGC. Any other stocks, folks, that meet our criteria? NASDAQ listed, at least $1 per share in the pre-market. You have to pull it up on your platform to verify that it meets all the criteria. So on your TrueEdge Pro, just pull up the stock. You'll be able to see all the data for the pre-market. Make sure you see the percentage change is at least a 6% gain or at least a 6% loss. Make sure the volume is at least 1 million shares traded. And also you want to make sure that the stock is currently trading at least $1 per share. Okay? So as long as all of those things match up, then we've got a valid opportunity to look at. All right, so any other stocks, folks? Uh, let's see. I don't have that on my scan at all. Like I said, everything I've already named is there. It shows 0%, probably because it's right at the same price it was yesterday. In other words, I'm looking at it here. It looks like, I don't know if that's the exact price it closed at, but it's pretty close. So it looks like it closed, it's hard to see it, but it looks like right here, there's a line right there. It says closes $1.57. And currently it's at 152, so that number's going to drop probably. But I don't know. That might be an error on a software, but it is at the same price. Basically, it was at the previous day. So that might be why. But clearly it's been moving. So if this could go up a little bit, then we will have an opportunity. But as of right now, let's just put that down as a possibility, but it is not currently qualified. I'm looking at it right now. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't see all the data from yesterday. What was the last time this traded? That was yesterday. All right, so it didn't trade pre-market. This is unusual. I'm sorry, post-market. Didn't have any post-market trading. It just started trading right in the pre-market. So we'll see. This one will definitely be on the list of things that are possible. So it won't be qualified yet, but we do want to keep an eye on this one as it definitely looks like this could become something. So I'll put that on the possibilities list. All right, any other stocks, folks, that meet our 4 criteria? NASDAQ listed, at least $1 per share, at least 1 million pre-market shares traded. You know, it has to be $1 per share right now, of course, and we need to see at least a 6% change, which it would have. This stock would have had it if it were earlier than now, but as of right at this moment, it's not qualified. All right, if you see any other stocks, let me know in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and take a look. I'll give us another. Let's give another 10 seconds here, and then if not, we'll go ahead and wrap up. All right, so let's wrap up for today. All we have, all we have so far is IOVA, NKLA, and CGC. All right, folks, let's wrap up for today. Please make sure to like the video. We got 18 likes so far. Let's make sure that we all like the video so that way it helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Also, let's be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Not sure if we're at 3,000 subscribers yet, but I know we were within 10 yesterday, so hopefully we got over the threshold, but I'll look in a second. If anyone's not familiar with our company, please be sure to check out fundertrading.com. That's our website. You'll see a link to that in the description of this video. Other than that, for those who are part of the coaching program, I'll see you guys in about 25 minutes. And then we'll pick up from there. Also, I will be in Chicago from Tuesday to Thursday, so I'm not sure where I'll broadcast from, but I'm assuming I'll be in the one of the offices that we sometimes use for that. So then I'll be back here on Friday. So that's all. All right, folks. Have a good one. And I'll see you folks. Thank you for the likes. I'll see you folks on Monday for the Premarket Pulse. Take care.